McBurney.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Bertram, and we are Pilates Before Pickup. We're here because we wanted to start our first of many coffee chats. We can get a little bit deeper behind the movement and the exercise and kind of find out a little bit more about Stacie and myself. Why don't you tell us about your movement background, when you started teaching, some of your certifications, and kind of like how you winded up here?
I actually wound up in the fitness side of the industry by accident. I love fitness, movement, and all things wellness, but it was probably back in like 2015 when I started taking barre classes at another local studio. It was the first time I ever had taken it, and the owner had approached me and asked if I would be interested in teaching, and I was like, who, me?
Little old me?
Who, me? I was like scared of my own shadow, and it was like imposter syndrome. How could I ever get up in front of people and tell them what to do? But YOLO, I went for it, and I became my best, most confident self by doing that. And just so happens that's how Kelsey and I first crossed paths.
That's right. Okay. Well, my background is I started dancing when I was 2, and I ended up dancing in college. And it was really in college where they started teaching us about how your strength can change your dancing, and also like our dances would be 12 minutes long. It wasn't like the 2 minutes and 30 seconds like of the little kids now. It was this modern dance show that would be like 3 hours, 12-minute movements. So I had this one teacher, France, shout out France if you know me now. She would do the craziest Pilates moves. I'm talking all the clamshells, all the internal rotation stuff.
During dance?
During dance. And that's when I really fell in love with fitness. Like, I didn't even want to dance during her classes. I wanted to pick her brain. She would say all the body parts. I thought it was fascinating that she could be like, we are working our right hamstring, and why, and like how if you could press your heel down, or those tiny cues that like totally, you'd be like, poof. And that was, for me, life-changing. I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm about to pop off. I was 18 in college when I first met her. And then over the summers, I actually had a dancer's dream. I would teach dance classes, and I would take like the first 20 minutes, and I'd be like, we're gonna get really super warm, and I would do like planks and squats and stuff with them. And that's kind of how I started. It was really like fitness for dancers. In 2014, I was like cheated on by my boyfriend, and I said, what? I'm about to go out there and pop off. So during that time, I had been working out at a local studio where I had been living up at the time in Peabody, and I had been moving with them for maybe like 6 months, just going to classes. I was working at an insurance company at the time, living my life, and she was doing an audition. You could try out to be an instructor. This is like 2014, this is early day instruction. So I said, I love an audition. So I did it. It was me and one other girl. And the training, I will say, at the studio we both got certified at, it was hardcore. It was intense. It was like long days, long weekends.
Yeah.
I think it was like 8 weekends in a row, both Saturdays and Sundays. It was called a barre certification, but there was a class there that was all on the mat. And so essentially it was just Pilates, but it was before Pilates was like a keyword.
Yeah.
I started with that. I got into personal training. I quit my insurance job once I met my husband, and I got my NASM certification. I started working at a gym, like a big box gym up at the mall, and started doing personal training. And then I started doing like a CrossFit style class, like a cardio class, a spin class, TRX. Like I got so many certifications doing it. Yes. I'm not good at spinning. I don't even like doing it as a person. You know, it's really hard for me to, we have the Peloton stuff, and I stay clear.
How long did you teach spin classes?
It was only the one summer that I was at that big gym.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I didn't like working at the big gym because it would be like 6 a.m. and then you'd go home at like 10.
I need to know which gym. Oh my God, I'm dead.
Yeah.
That's where you
I got hired before.
Did you like it?
I hated it. You have to go on the floor and like approach people exercise and be like, hey, are you interested in personal training? I'm like, this like 25-year-old girl going up to like 50-year-old men being like, do you want me to teach you and you can pay me? It was ridiculous. But it's always been group fitness for me. I think because it's like dance, right? It's like everyone's working towards the same goal. Got my certification from a reformer, a 500-hour, like all-inclusive, and that's really when the whole Pilates thing took off for me. So I started teaching Pilates in 2019, and then I kind of winded up enjoying the mat a little more through my pregnancies than I did the reformer.
Well, that's when we reconnected. She came to my class, and I was like, girl, I recognize recognize you.
I'll
Like, why
never
do I
forget.
know
She
you?
used to come take my cardio classes, which were like 8 a.m. on Saturdays. We'd be sweating like tequila out of our pores in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We connected, and obviously I know your sister-in-law
Yeah.
through teaching, so it was kind of
Come full
fun.
circle.
I didn't even know you were from Marblehead, I feel
Yeah.
like, at the time. But I wasn't living around here. I was like up in Peabody and Danvers and stuff, so that's kind of like our little background.
For me, I started working when it was Town Bar, just before the pandemic. I taught 2 classes. We had our photo shoot, and funny story, we had our first photo shoot. I'd never done a photo shoot before in my life. I think like a couple days before I went and got a facial. I did not know I was allergic to lavender oil. It was like all over my face.
No.
I come to this photo shoot, I kid you not, with the puffiest face, fully inflamed. My eyes are like tiny little slits.
Keep going.
I will never live that down. Those photos are ingrained in my brain for life now.
I spilled my coffee, you guys.
Oh no. And Michelle was an amazing, amazing owner, and we loved the studio. And then the world shut down, and I was in my basement literally teaching mat-based classes.
Oh my gosh.
On Zoom. Shout out to all the OG Town Bar gals. It was a wild ride. And then, you know, Town Bar closed its doors. Flash forward to when Power opened, and Kelsey and I met, and it all came full circle, and here we are.
As for me as a mom now, the owner has to be like someone that you can just be honest with. Like, listen, I've said to staff before, like, listen, I need 6 weeks off. Like, just literal mental health break. Last January, I took 6 weeks off. Just like, say less.
Yeah.
And subbed out the 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a studio that was like franchise. The owner was male. Not that that matters, but he didn't have the same perspective, I feel like, as a woman. And, you know, stuff's like kind of in the thick of it with us with having kids and stuff. So I think it's like you really have to gel with the studio owner and kind of like the identity of the studio. And I'm curious about your why, so to speak. I know that's like such a general question, but I wonder if there's like a deeper conversation as to why you still love group fitness classes, why it's kind of like gelled for you, how you fit it into your everyday life, how that affects your work with Wire, which I don't even know if we've talked about your work yet. So give us all that tea.
All right. Like I said, originally, I never envisioned myself being an instructor. Like, sometimes I would call myself maybe the shyest person in the room, and you think now, you're like, what, Stacie, you? I guess, me. Scared of my own shadow, literally, like, you know, stage fright. Like, shaking, trying to read, like, a presentation in school. Like, that was not me. So I am so proud of how far I've come, and I really owe that all to becoming a fitness instructor. It has given me so much confidence in not only my personal life, but also through work, like with Wire. So I run a women's networking group for women who work in commercial real estate. It is a nonprofit fitness and wellness focused networking events, but I run 13 chapters across the country, and I get up and I make a big speech, usually every event here in Boston. Very beginning days, I was like, so scared. But now I'm just like, hey, I'm here, and this is who I am. And I think I really do owe a lot of that to getting in front of a class and, you know, owning the room and going out there confidently. And it's so cool. And it just really complements where my life is now as well. So the why, I guess, one, I love fitness. I love to feel good. I love to move my body. That's when I feel my best self. I think it just has really helped me blossom and become more of a confident person in my life.
Yeah, it's a good why.
What about you?
Yeah, I have a few whys. I think one that always stands out to me is my relationship with my own body from dance. I have a long history with dance. Ballet, tap, jazz is your typical kind of like teenager, and then obviously moved into like the contemporary modern space. And then after I graduated college, I went into the audition scene, if you will, and it's quite the fucking scene, let's just be honest. So I did like NFL teams, I did NBA teams, I did Major League Lacrosse, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was a good time when it did exist. But
are these auditions,
these
like,
are
these giving like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
100%, especially the Patriots, which was kind of like where I kept going back to the most. And what happens is like you make it through all these rounds, and then you're like in a 6-week boot camp where you're basically treated like you're a member of the squad, and they're starting to learn their dances for the fall. This is in the summer. And I was like the last person cut from that. And that was the last time I was like, I physically cannot put myself through this. But through all of that, I did all kinds of things to get into shape for these auditions, from the healthiest possible way to the most toxic thing you could think of. All of it was done. And my body has repercussions from all these things, especially bodybuilding, lack of calories, things like that. So when I got married and was like ready to have a family, I'm like, how can we make this such like a positive way to show my now daughter that like this isn't about what you're looking at in the mirror. This is about like the mind-body connection. This is about having the strength when you're 8 months pregnant and you got a toddler on your hip to bend down and pick up the toy. It's like seeing my now older parents not be able to do a lot of the things that I want to do at their age. It's like, no, this is for longevity. This is for mental health, which I really can't wait to get into, like the mental health side of things in future episodes. And Pilates Before Pickup, I loved it because I've been toying with this like posting on social media on the fitness realm for such a long time. I looked back on my Instagram, there's like times from 2015 before it was like even cool to post that I was like deleting pictures of me like, this is embarrassing. But ultimately, I think for me and kind of like where we're going with Pilates Before Pickup is that we can sort of like get a little bit underneath the surface. Yeah. And I think that talking about the tougher topics is really where we're kind of like digging into. So that's the future of Pilates Before Pickup in our coffee chats, and we're still going to get videos of Stacie and myself doing like our little exercises, and I've been loving your cooking content. I want to do more cooking content myself. But just from an honesty perspective, it's not always easy for me to get on social media on an everyday basis. So this allows me to sort of like feel really like my cup is full, that we can talk about things that will help other moms and not moms. Yeah. Any women really.
Real life shit. I think it's really
I didn't ask if we were swearing, but I've said like 5 swears.
Real life shit that's really important for us to be open and honest about. Yeah. Especially like, I think people see like fitness instructors and they think like it's so perfect and like they're so regimented, but like, you know, the weekends, you know,
we're just
sometimes anything
girls.
goes. We're
I
normal
want Prosecco,
girls.
I want champagne, I want like chips on the weekends. And so that's kind of like what we want to get into.
Yeah, all the real stuff.
Yeah, all the real.
Because this is like real life and we're not perfect.
And sometimes on Instagram, it's hard to get across. Like we're two real girls. We're just moms, we're girls, we're real. Yeah. And we just want to be exactly who we are. We don't want to show up as like, this is my perfectly curated exercise, and I go home and I have this smoothie. It's like sometimes I do go home and have this smoothie, but you will see, literally I wish you could see my house. There's like 500 fucking toys shoved into the corner, okay? This is real. Like,
that's so funny you say that. Whenever I do my workouts in my basement, you all just see this tiny little area that looks somewhat decent. But literally in the front, Barbie Dream House, doll house, boxes of doll stuff, American Girl dolls, you know, magnet tiles, literally everything.
Yeah, I have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter who's in kindergarten, and I have a 2.5-year-old son. He does like 3 mornings a week preschool, and that's where he is right now.
I have 2 girls, 4. She's in her last year of preschool. Sad days, but like excited.
Sad and happy.
I'm sad but happy because like my pocket will feel a little better after.
Definitely.
And then my oldest, she is 6 years old and she is in 1st grade. But I think it's also important for us to discuss about like us as moms and balancing what we're trying to do. Definitely. And it's like how do you balance it all? Like I actually don't balance
it all. Have you ever heard
the
saying where it's like I really need to look this up so I can get it correctly, but basically it's like you're always going to let some of the balls drop, right? You can't possibly keep all the balls in the air because all of them afloat, but just make sure the glass ones aren't dropping. Like I always think about that. Like our kids,
I love that.
Our fitness, like those are glass balls. Like although we can step away from fitness for a week or two, like and fitness is so general. Like I love walks. Like I'll take 2-hour walks. Like that can be what it is. But just like taking a moment for yourself, like making sure your glass balls are still up and that the balls that are dropping are just like for example, I always tell my friends, I'm like, listen, this week is tough. So if I'm not responding, like give me a call if it's important, but otherwise, and that's like those are my people. Like people that can understand that are my friends because those are true connections. So
ins and outs of 2026. Let's go.
By the way, we got our coffees from Plus Cafe, local Marblehead brand. Or
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but we
sponsored.
will. I met a really nice gentleman there, and he was giving me some info about what he's into, so I'll post this little business card so we can support each other.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go back to ins and outs. Okay, podcasting. Okay, so one thing that is out for me is doing things because your friends are doing them. And I say this with love because I love when our studio is like banged out. There's no better time as a fitness instructor to teach the 28 bodies in our room. That's our fullest capacity, and it's so freaking fun. The dancer in me is like, let's do this. You know, it's like my Britney moment. But I think that if things are working for you and you've loved a place for years and years and years, you should stay doing that. You should stay true to yourself. If it works for your body, keep doing that. For example, Pilates is very in right now, right? It's like trending on all the social media things. But like when this is no longer trending, and I heard Soul Cycles is having like a year in 2026, like I'll still be doing this. Like this is for my nervous system, my autoimmune disease, which we were definitely gonna have future episodes on. This is the best for me, no matter what, if it's trending or not. And in 2019, it wasn't trending, you know, when we first got into this. So I think it's important to stay true to you and like what's working for you. And if it's a studio that's trendy and you want to try it out, like hell yeah, try it out. You know, like have your home base, have something that you know works for you, and don't just like bop around to all the studios because it's really easy to get lost in that. That was my out.
All right. The out for me is overworking my body. So many times in the past.
Louder.
Oh my God. So many times in the past, in my younger years, and like, again, going back to like body image issues, it's like the cardio, like if you are not breathless and sweating and like toast, you didn't do enough.
Exercise.
Like, that's
do you remember
out
when
for me.
boxing was in?
I never got into that one because I'm not coordinated.
I have like PTSD from going to that place in Southie. I won't name names. Yeah. and there was one other one too that was a little less like popular, but yes. I seriously have trauma from going to that place. I'm like, that place alone triggered Hashimoto's for me, personally.
I will say, like, overworking your body, 100% out for me. I think there's a balance that I have found in more recent years for myself that really works well for my body. Staying true to that. Like, you know, also going back to like, just because I had like the burger or the bowl of pasta over the weekend does not mean the next day I need to work harder. I'm going to stick with my routine, and that's what's in. So
there's like a little mental health component to it too. It's like being able to enjoy life and the boat and all the fun things that you do. And then on Monday, your routine stays the same. Same. It's just that stays the same. It's the 80-20.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to know what's in for me?
Yeah.
And this is like a tough in because we have young kids, so
rest.
Rest is literally my in. I was definitely better in 2025. Like I took 6 weeks off from teaching in January when I was going through some autoimmune stuff. And I think Steph makes it so easy. Like if you can be so honest with her, like, listen, this is what's going on, or my kids are in bad health. I haven't taught power at 3 weeks. The support we get from the women there is incredible. Yeah. But it's more for me like rest. Can I get off my phone and pick up a book? Can I use the time during nap time? I obviously have all these things I need to do to clean and all the things that everyone has to do. But is there a way that I can disconnect and take like 30 minutes to do something that makes me happy? Like I love gardening in the summer. I try to go out every nap time.
I love that.
Just like that is the rest, right? It's not like sitting in your chair and being like, holy shit, I still have to do the dishes. I gotta do the laundry. There's something that it's like mental rest. Like just go outside. That shit's always gonna be there. So like do something that's gonna fill your cup up, and that's sort of my rest. I work at nights. I still work at the dance studio, so it's like how can I refuel so I can survive till like 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. So that's my big in for
fitness related in?
Whatever. It can be. It was more geared towards the trends, which I don't even know what the trends are for in. Like I literally just saw that Soul Cycle was having a resurgence.
My in, I mean, this is a personal in, but like fine. I think that like there's so much out there, and overconsumption, not like food wise, but like stuff wise.
This is my.
And I am so.
I'm so happy you said that.
Oh my god, I am so influenced very easily. So my in is being a little bit more minimalistic here, right?
Like a little picky and choosy what you're buying.
Yeah, embrace what you got.
Yeah.
Shop the closet.
That's funny. Like that is my own personal resolution, and we're gonna do an episode on this, the overconsumption thing, because I think one of the things about Pilates Before Pickup that we love is sharing what we truly love. Like for example, I'm literally wearing the Beyond Yoga leggings. I have my Pila socks on. Like we genuinely wear these things in our everyday life. That's why we link them. But like never letting the linking and the this and the that like take away from what Pilates Before Pickup is.
Yes.
I'm so over consumption.
Yeah.
I'm so over someone that's 15 telling me what I need to buy for my skin.
Right.
Like you just have to understand that when you are taking that 10 minutes to be on social media and scroll, the point for all these people is to get you to click and buy. Yeah. So like just thinking about it from that perspective, and we're definitely doing an episode on this. This is like one thing I definitely wanted to touch upon. We're definitely going to bring guests in. So if you guys have any thoughts on guests you want to bring in, obviously we have tons of friends that we want to get in here.
All of our small business mamas.
All of our Marblehead friends. We want you all, every single one of you. I don't know where you're going to sit. I'm going to have to move the toys for you, I guess. I'll move the toys for you. But we're so excited to get our peers on here and talk about other things and like other avenues.
Yes. Coffee chat in the kitchen.
Cute.
I do have a little new kitchen we could coffee chat in.
Love that.
Yeah, more to come. Yeah. We have Maggie here. She's our, you want to,
woo! Shout out Maggie.
Oh, so we've been wanting to dig into this for a while.
I think it's going to be really cathartic for us because again, like a lot of what you see might feel like a highlight reel, but like we want this to be the real shit.
Yeah, and we're just like, again, I can't say this enough, like if it feels really good for you to post on Instagram your exercise that day, you should fucking do it. Yeah. If it doesn't, then you don't.
That's okay.
And so we're kind of just like figuring out what that means for both of us, and we hope that this can be a way that we can touch base with you guys in a way that it provides a little bit more meaning or value than just what you're seeing on the gram.
Yeah. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.